Good evening, folks. John Graham coming to you again from the church out in Marion. A little snowy out here in upstate New York tonight. Didn't get the big storm, but we got a little bit. Tonight's video is going to talk about the angle of the swing plane, how this angle affects where the bottom vector of the D-plane points depending on the angle of attack. This video kind of goes along with a chart that I created with the help of Dave Tuttleman that's available on my website to download, completely free. Just head over to my website, johngrahamgolf.com. Up on the top there's a little link for download. Click on there, leave your name and email address, and you can download the chart for free to keep for yourself. I ask that if you're going to make extras, just download them instead of running copies off. So this video is going to talk about the visual part of that. Some people need to be able to see that to be able to understand it better. How the vertical swing plane and angle of attack work together to adjust the horizontal swing plane. So let me give some definitions first. Vertical swing plane is the term that TrackMan uses to describe, in simple terms, the swing plane itself. This would be vertical, 90 degrees. This would be obviously horizontal, 0 degrees. What angle of the swing plane we're dealing with. Angle of attack, obviously, is going to be the up or down part. And then the horizontal swing plane is, for TrackMan purposes, it's the direction relative to the target line that the club's moving. For this discussion, we're going to use the adjustment to that based on the vertical swing plane and the angle of attack. What adjustment do we have to make to the horizontal swing plane to hit a straight shot based on the shape of the swing plane and the angle of attack? So, here I've got my table again. White line represents the target line at ground level. I tried to line up the edge of this mat to represent the target line obviously below the ground to kind of give us a three-dimensional look to kind of help us out as best we can. So let's start out with the easiest one. I mentioned it already. The easiest one would be a vertical swing plane, 90 degrees straight up and down, just like a Ferris wheel. The angle of attack has no impact on where the D-plane, or the bottom vector of the D-plane would move based on this vertical swing plane. For example, if I had it level to the ground, directly on the target, it's pretty clear that this club path would point at the target. Now let's say that I'm swinging down on the ball and I hit it back here. Well, this swing plane still points at the target. It just points at a different spot on the line. If I'm up here, a little less angle of attack, now I'm going to have a place that would kind of point here, again still on the target line. If I'm going up, the tangent to this part would still be on the target line. All the places on this swing path, the swing plane, are going to be on the target line. It doesn't matter when I hit the ball. Regardless of when I hit it, at the collision, the club's moving on the target line. It's always going to be that way. The other example would be 0. Now this is never going to happen. There's no real low point. The only time this plane would point at the target would be when the furthest part of the circle out is actually on the target. Then that would point at the target line. As soon as I start to move it, so I start hitting the ball earlier than, I guess we would call it low point, even though it's not lower than the other point because they're all low. This would obviously point to the right. And the more that I hit earlier on the circle, the more to the right it's going to point. Obviously, if I hit it after the lowest point, it's going to be more to the left. There's only one point on this circle that's going to point at the target. With a vertical swing plane, all the points did.